Hey, hey, hey. All right. We're back here at Krave Cornhole, Monday, September the 16th. Want to thank everybody that's tuned in right now. Fixing to have our first round on court number one. It's going to be Landon Yao, Diana Edwards, facing Wesley Hartzell and Chef John Lucas. Hey, John, how are you? All right, they're making their spin down here on this lower end. Landon Yao has first bag. Wesley's Hartzell's right behind him. Landon's off to the right. He's sitting in Wesley's lane just a little bit to the right. Wesley goes by, turns that bag just a little bit and goes in. Landon goes in with his third bag. Wesley goes off to the right. Landon goes up. He hits his own bag and goes in. Oh, and Wesley goes off the back of the board to be a 10 on 7. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we live. We are live. Hey, Spencer Matlock. Good to hear from you too, man. I don't know why she throws that first bag to the front of that board. She's in now. Hey, brother. Hey, Jamie. How you doing, man? Good to see you too, man. Oh, and he fell in too. Is it 7 on? Is it 8 on 4?
Sorry. He needs a little confidence boosting in the first round, honey. Just let him have his way. He can. He's ignoring me.
Wesley's off the back of the board with that next bag. Landon sets up a level 1 block
All right, baby.
on the left-hand side. It's just outside of the middle of the hole. He drags that bag in and sets up with another level 1 block. Wesley drags him 2 bags and goes in also. Landon goes up for an airmail and hits it. So here we go. Diana has first bag. That's all right. Her first bag's off to the left. John's in with his first bag. Diana's up. She's got a level 1 block setting in John's lane. John pushes up against it. She's up. She's almost in with that next bag. John takes it. He drags her bag and actually 2 of her bags, and she goes up. She's in for a 9. John's up for an 8, so that's going to give him 1 more point. So here we go. We got Landon Yao throwing back down to Diana. Landon's first bag's off to the left. This is set up. He set up a block on that, but it's in his lane. He pushes that next bag up against it. He almost pushes that first bag in. Wesley goes around that bag, dragging one of Landon's bag. Landon steps out to drag that bag over, and he misses. Wesley misses with his next bag. Landon's up, and those 2 bags are just hanging there on the edge of the board. If Wesley vibrates it, I think it's going to go in. And Wesley's not going to take the chance.
That's the experience I need right now. That's the experience I need. That was, yeah. Wait, the only thing maybe because they're brand new, but... Wesley's up, right? I'll go? Yeah.
John's off to the right with that first bag. Diana's in. John's in. Diana's off to the left in John's lane with that next bag. John hits that bag and bounces his bag off to the right in front of the hole. Diana goes up, sets up a level 1, level 2 block behind John's bag, blocking John from the drag. John goes up for the airmail and misses. Diana goes up and she lands by side of John's bag and her bag, making it a 6-on-6 wash.
Is that your timeout? Was that your official timeout? Sorry, just making sure.
Wesley has first bag. His first bag's off to the right. Landon goes up the middle, sets up for a level 1 block. Wesley goes up with a push and pushes a bag, cuts a bag in. Landon goes up for airmail, misses. Wesley goes off to the right and he misses. 7-on-6. Who was he? Hey, Mike. Come here, boy. Come here.
It's him.
Come here. What are you doing? You want to go live?
He said, how dare you not talk to me?
You want to go live? Say. You want to go live? That's one of the pets that come in here. They do allow pets. So right now, Landon Yao, Diana Edwards, they still have the lead 8-7. Wesley goes to the right. Landon puts a block up on the right hand side. Wesley goes too far to the left. Landon goes up. His bag's hanging in the back on the back side. Wesley pushes his bag up, and it's holding Landon's bag. Landon goes up. I think he was trying to go up to the middle for a roll shot and ends up going to the left just a little bit too far. Now he has several. Oh, he got one in, two off. One in. 7 on 5. So here goes Diana and Chef John. Chef John has first bag and he's in. Diana's up. She sets up a level 1 block. Chef John goes off to the left. Diana's up. She didn't throw it quite hard enough. John throws it hard enough, goes in, drags that bag in with him. Diane throws a block on the left-hand side. John tries to go in between her two bags and goes off of the board. Diana's up. It's going to be a 6 on 7. So here we go. Wesley Hartzell has first bag. It's in. Landon sets up a level 1 block on the right hand side. Wesley goes up, pushes Landon's bag in, and goes a little bit over to the right himself. Landon throws his next bag behind Wesley's bag on the right hand side. Wesley goes for airmail, misses, bounces off of the board, and Wesley stepping out. He tried for another airmail and missed. Landon goes up, dragging two bags. Going to be 10 on 4, making it 14-10 now. Come on, Diana. Diana Edwards has first bag. Her first bag is up. It's sitting almost in the middle of the board. Chef John throws up the side of it. Diane goes up the middle again. She's got a little train going on. Started here. John goes for airmail, misses. Diane goes up for a hard push. Ends up going off to the left just a little bit, but she has 3 bags on. John has 1 on. John goes up. He pushes up against Diane's bag. Diane goes up. She hits her bag, but she rolls off of the side. John goes up, just lays it up on the board for a wash.
No. What's up, Tony? Yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna play anyway. I wasn't just gonna come. I wasn't gonna play because I told Ryan asked me to
All
play
right,
somebody.
Landon's got a block set up. Wesley throws up the side of that block. Landon rolls over that first bag. He pushes it forward just a little bit. Wesley goes up, dragging that bag around just a little bit more. Landon goes in, dragging 2 bags along with him. Wesley's got one sitting on the right-hand side. Now Landon's going up. He hits that bag of Wesley's, knocking it back. Wesley has a chance for 2. To save himself 2 points. But he ends up giving up 6. Yes. 20. So here's Diane Edwards. She's up first. She's up. She sets up a level 1 block. Chef John goes up to go behind it and goes off to the right, to the left. Diana sets her bag off to the left. John's off to the right. That bag's going to be out of play. Diana has, I don't know if she's got a bag off or not. John goes up, pushes that bag off. 5-on-4. And that gives Landon and Diana the first win on court 1.
I officially have a kryptonite.
All right, Kobe Davis, Siri Theo against Penny Arant. No, I'm sorry. Landon Yao and Diana Edwards face Greg Duncan and Zach Summer Hour. Samiro, I think it is. Is it Samiro? I think it's Samiro. Zach, how you say your last name? Summer Hour. And I thought that's how to say it. I said that to start with, and I thought it was awful funny. And I said, it's got to be Samira. This Summer Hour? I'll be Summer Hour. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty cool name, last name, Summer Hour. Zach Summer Hour. Looks like he's about 6'1", 6'2", maybe, about 195, 200-pound young man. He'd be throwing against Landon Yao. Diane, they got her on the opposite side this time. We'll see how she does. She's always a player. I'm telling you now, she gives it her best. Might not be what you want all the time, but I'll guarantee you there's a lot of times she'll come in there for you guys. I'm telling you, she's not a bad player to just be starting out. This would be her first season of playing in the tournaments here at Krave Cornhole, I think. I think she's played in some here and there, but I think she's dedicated more to the game lately than she had in the past, so we're looking forward to seeing her grow. She's throwing against Greg Duncan. All right, so here we go. They've done their down and back, and I think they're ready to start. Landon's got it set, ready to start. They're going to spin the bag. It's on Landon Yao. He has first bag. His first bag is up and in. Zach's bag is in. Landon's in. Zach is in. Landon's in. Zach's in. Landon's in. Zach's in. And we have a social. That's our first social here. That's a Krave Cornhole social. Number 1, first of the night over here on court 1.
Makes you feel good. This means not good. This is a no-no.
All right, here we go. Diane's up. She sets up on the left-hand side in her lane, but it's kind of to the outside of her lane. She goes up with her next bag. It lands behind that first bag. Duncan's done went in with one bag and got one set up in the middle. Diane sets up a block trying to keep Duncan from dragging that bag. Let's see what he does. He stepped out. He goes off the board to the left. Diane goes up to the right. Duncan goes off the board to the right, and it's a 4-on-4 wash. So score still remains 0-0. Landon's in with that first bag. Zach's off to the right. Landon's in with his next bag. Landon's in for an 8. Oh, and Zach does a whoop. whoopsie. So the score now is 4-0. Her first bag's off to the left just a little bit. Diana's, I think Duncan's is in. Diana's off to the left again. Duncan's in with that next bag. Diana's up. That bag rolls and goes short. Oh, she goes up. She hits the board and goes off. Duncan's up. He goes off to the left. It's going to be 8 on 3. All right, Zach has first bag this round. His first bag's off to the right. Landon goes off to the left. Zach goes up the middle. Landon goes short and does a whoopsie. Zach goes up the middle. Landon goes up the middle. Zach's in for a 10. Landon's in for a 7. Making it 8-5 now. 8-4. So here we go. We're going back up. Diana and Greg Duncan. Greg's first bag's off to the left just a little bit. Diane's up. She's got a level 2 block. Greg pushes her bag just a little bit closer. Diane goes up, sets up behind that bag. Greg pushes off to the left and goes off of the board. Diane goes up. She pushes up into the bag again. Greg goes up for another 4 on 2. Landon's in front of the hole with his first bag. Zach throws his first bag off to the left. Zach pushes up against Landon's bag, blocking Landon. Landon goes in. He drags 3 bags in with 1. Zach goes to the left and pushes up against Landon's bag. Landon drags it for a 12. Zach's in for a 4, I think. Nope, he was in for a 7. Only giving up 5 points. So Landon and Diane take the lead, and we have a lead change. Score now is 11-8. Diane has first bag. Her first bag's up. She sets up a level 1 block. Greg goes up to go behind it and goes off to the right. That bag's going to be out of play. Diane sets up behind that next bag. Duncan goes off to the right again. Diane goes up. She bumps that bag. She has 3 bags sitting in front of the hole. She's got total hole control. Oh, she throws that last bag off of the board. Duncan goes up, and it's a 3 on 3 wash. Landon goes up. He sets up a level 1 block in front of the hole. Zach goes off to the right, knocking Landon's bag in. He goes off to the right again, pushing up against his own bag. He drags that bag in with the next bag. Right now it's a 10 on 10. Score still remains 11-8. Diane's up. She has first bag still yet. They have control of the boards. Here she goes. Her first bag's up. It sets up on the left-hand side of that hole, but it's close to the hole. That bag can be taken in. Oh, and Duncan knocks it in for her. She goes up to set up on a block and ends up going off the board. Duncan drags both of those bags in. It's 9-on-3 right now. Oh, when she goes in for the next bag, oh, and it's 12-on-6, and I think it's going to give them 6 points. So it makes the score 14-11 now. Zach has first bag. His bag goes off to the left. Landon goes up the middle and in the hole. Zach goes in. Landon's in. Zach goes in. Landon's off to the right just a little bit with that last bag, that third bag. Zach goes in. Landon tries to drag it, but he goes in anyway without it, making it a 10-on-10 wash. So Greg Duncan, Diana Edwards will be throwing back up this round. Greg's off to the right just a little bit with that first bag. Diana's in with that first bag. Greg's in with that next bag. Diana's up. She sets up a level 3 block on Duncan's side. Duncan goes around it and goes in. Diana goes up. She almost goes in. Duncan goes off to the left just a little bit. Diana's up. She's off to the right, but that bag stayed on the board, only giving up 2 points, making it 16-11 now. Zach's off to the right. Landon's straight up the middle. Zach tries an air mail, goes off of the board. Landon goes up. He rolls that bag and pushes at the same time. Zach knocks his other bag in. Right now it's 9-on-2. Oh, and Zach goes off the back of the board. Oh, and Landon got a 10, and that's going to be the game. That's going to give them 21 points. I can't believe that. Zach. We got Tony Manus, Leanne Klutz against Greg Duncan, and Zach Summerhour. All right, Leanne Klutz, she'll have first bag here on this. We got Tony Manus, Leanne Klutz against Greg Duncan and Zach's Summer Hour. Duncan's first bag is off to the right and off of the board. Leanne's second bag is in. Duncan sets up a level one block. Leanne tries to go up for airmail and misses. Duncan goes up. He drags that next bag in. Leanne's in with her last bag. Duncan's up. He falls short. But he has a bag on the board. One bag on the board. All right. Zach's off to the right, off of the back of the board. Tony's up the middle. He's got a level one block. Zach pushes Tony's bag up just a little bit closer, and he kind of goes off to the left. Tony goes up, and he knocks that bag in, but he goes off of the board at the same time. He goes in with his third bag. Zach's in. Tony's up and off to the right. I think it's going to be 7 on 7 for a wash. All right, Donahue's first bag is off to the right. Leanne's first bag's up and in the middle. It's in the hole. Donahue's in with his next bag. Leanne's in with her second bag. Donahue's in with his third bag. Leanne's off to the right just a little bit in Donahue's lane. Donahue goes a little bit too hard up, goes over the hole. Leanne goes up and goes in for a 10 on 8, giving Tony and Leanne 2 points. Tony has lead. They have control of the board right now. They just got it. Tony's up. His first bag sets up for a level 1. Zach tries to push up behind it and go around it. He goes around it, but he goes to the back of the board. But that bag is going to fall. He goes to the left with that next bag. Tony's off the back of the board with that next bag. Zach's in with a bag. Tony's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Zach goes up for airmail and hits Tony's bag, knocking it in. So it's going to be 9 on 5. No, I'm sorry, it's 7:05. Whew. All right, Leanne has first bag. Her first bag is off to the left, but it's in her lane. She's able to make that bag. I'm sure she'll make it. Oh, she takes Greg's bag in with her bag. Greg goes off to the right. Leanne still has that bag sitting to the left. It's still in play. She goes up. She takes that bag and sets up right in the same spot. Duncan pushes it up just a little bit. Leanne steps back into the middle. She's going straight up. Her bag goes off to the left. Duncan goes in. It's going to be an 8-8 wash. So we have Tony. He has first bag. They still have control. Tony's first bag is in. Zach's first bag is off to the right, left just a little bit. Tony's off to the left, but it's in his lane. Zach drags Tony's bag in with his next bag. Tony goes up for a level 1 block. Zach pushes that bag of Tony's in, goes kindly to the left. Tony goes around Zach's bag and goes in. Zach goes up, trying to drag that bag, and ends up sticking to the other 2 bags there, making it a 12 on 6. So here we go. We got Leanne's up with the first bag. They still got control of the board. Oh, and Leanne does a whoopsie. Duncan goes off to the left. He's setting in Leanne's lane. Leanne goes straight up the middle and goes in. Duncan goes up the middle and goes in. Leanne goes in with that next bag. Duncan goes in with that next bag. Leanne's off to the right just a little bit. Here's Duncan for the points. He got 3. It's 10-7. All right, Zach has first bag. His first bag is in. Tony's first bag is in. Duncan's off to Zach is off to the right with that next bag. Tony's off to the left, but now Tony's in Zach's lane. Zach goes around it, but he bumped it. He brought it just a little bit closer. Tony tries to nip it and goes in without it. Duncan goes up. It's going to be a 10-8, I think. Giving Tony and Leanne 2 more points. Here we go. Leanne has first bag. Leanne's first bag's off to the right just a little bit. Duncan's off to the right, but he's in his lane. His bag is still in play. Leanne's bag is going to be out of play. Leanne drags Duncan's bag in. Duncan goes in with his next bag. Right now it's 6-4, 6-5 right now. Duncan goes in with his third bag. Leanne's in with her last bag. Duncan's in for a 12. It's going to be 12-8, giving up 4 points, but that's good. Here we go. Zach has first bag. His first bag is in. Tony's first bag is off to the left just a little bit, but it's in Zach's lane, and Zach drives it and goes in. Tony goes up. He's going in. Zach goes in. Tony's up. He sets up on the right-hand side. Zach goes around it and goes in. Now Tony's stepping out just a little bit. He's going to try to drag this bag. He gets one, but the other one flips off to the right just a little bit and hangs on the board, making it a 10-12, giving up 2 more points, making the game 10-14 now. Greg Duncan and Zach Summerhour has come back a little bit. They're getting back into this game. Donahue's first bag's off to the left in Leanne's lane. Leanne's up. She pushes Donahue's bag in and sets up on the left-hand side in her lane. She steps out just a little bit. She goes up, misses, goes off of the board. Duncan's already got 3 bags in. Leanne's up. She's in with that next bag. Duncan's up. He sets up right in front of Leanne, in front of the hole. Leanne's stepping out. She got, and she touches that bag just a little bit, making it a 10-5. Zach's off to the right, to the back of the board. That bag's still in play, though. He's in with his next bag. Tony went in with his first bag. Tony's in with his second bag. Zach's off to the left with that third bag. Tony's up, and he's in with his third bag. Zach's up. He pushes back that bag. Tony goes up and smokes it just a little bit too much and goes up the board and dead stops. Put it on the wrong side. So here we go. We got Leanne. Greg Duncan throwing back. Leanne's first. Leanne's up. She's in with that first bag. Duncan's in with his first bag. Leanne's up, and she's on Duncan's side with that next bag. Duncan hits the board. That bag bows on into the hole. Leanne's going to make this bag, I'm sure. Or Duncan won. Duncan hits it again without taking Leanne's bag. Now here we go. Leanne's got a chance to take this bag. She drops that bag. Duncan goes off to the back of the board. So the score now is 17-17. They're all tied up. Tony has first bag. He sets up a level 2 block. Zach pushes up against it. He pushes Tony's bag. Zach almost takes his bag. Zach goes off of the board with his second bag. Tony goes up. He pushes a bag in, leaving 2 bags outside of the hole. Zach goes up and goes off the board again. Tony goes up trying to grab that last bag, but he didn't. But he goes in, and Zach goes off of the back of the board, and that's going to be the game. So we have Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz over Greg Donahue and Zach Summerhour. All right, want to thank our sponsors tonight. Want to give our sponsors a shout out. We want to give a shout. We want to thank our sponsors. We want to call out our sponsors. Our sponsors are Hartzell's Garage Door, Bust You Up Cornhole, Kelly's Bars and Grills, Bag Junkies, Headlights Are Us, Bridges Corp, Angie's Pressure Washing. Folks, these are local owned businesses. These folks are local. So if you need any of these services, feel free to give them a call. If you need any information about them, you can call Headlights Are Us here in Concord, located at 120 Church Street Northeast in Concord, North Carolina. You can just call down here and ask Miss Jennifer Cook about these sponsors, and she can give you some information on them and let you know their phone number. But anyway, we want to thank each and every one of you guys that are tuning in here tonight. Those that are far away and close by, we thank you for participating and being a part of this tournament. You might not be here, but you at home cheering for your favorite team, I'm sure. We got Amy Gore and Pep Ken coming up against Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz. And we do not own the rights to any of this music that you hear in the background. They're doing their down and backs right now, folks. All right. Here we go. These bags are live. Tony Manus has first bag. He throws a level 3 block about halfway down the board, just a little bit off to the right of the center. Amy goes up. She touches that bag of Tony's and goes in the hole around him. She goes up. She touches it again, but goes off the board to the right-hand side. Tony goes up. He pushes that bag a little closer, but he pushes the one up to the left a little bit further out of play. Now Tony goes up. He goes in for an 8. Amy goes back off the board again, off the back side. So here we go. Leanne has first bag. She's throwing against Pep King. She's in with her first bag. Pep's in with his first bag. Leanne's in with her second bag. Pep's off to the left just a little bit, but now that bag is playable. Leanne touches it and goes off, goes in the hole. Pep goes up with an airmail and hits the airmail but misses the drag. Leanne goes over and off to the left just a little bit. Pep goes in, catches that bag. It's going to be a 12 on 9. Okay, Amy, I have first bag this round. They have control of the boards at this moment. Amy's first bag is in. Tony's first bag is in. Amy's off to the right just a little bit with that next bag. Tony's up the middle for a level 3 block. Oh, and Amy tries to set up behind it, but she goes off to the right just a little bit of that bag. Tony hits that bag and goes to the back of the board on the left-hand side. Amy tries a roll shot. Tony goes up the middle and goes in. It's going to be 10 on 6. Leanne has first bag. Her first bag is in. Pep sets up on the right hand in the middle of the board with a diamond block. Leanne tries to go around it. Pep goes up, drags both of those bags in. Leanne's in with her next bag. Pep goes in with his third bag. Leanne's off to the back of the board with that last bag. Pep is in with that next bag. It's going to be 12 on 8 again. Amy has first bag. They have control of the boards again. Amy's first bag is in. I'm going to call it a shark fin going down. Can't we call that a shark fin going down? Tony's in. Amy's in with her first bag. Amy's in with her second bag. Tony's up. He sets up a level 1 block in front of the hole. Amy goes up. She knocks Tony's bag in, goes over to the left just a little bit. That bag can be got, but it's going to be hard. Amy sets up a level 1 block in front of Tony. Tony goes through it and goes in for 2. And we have a lead change. 8 on 7 now. Leanne's first bag is up and off to the left just a little bit to the back of the board. Pep's in with his first bag. Leanne's in. Pep's off to the left with that next bag. Leanne's up. She goes a little easy and goes too far to the right. Pep goes in with his next bag. Leanne goes in with her last bag. Pep goes up for the airmail drag and misses the airmail drag, but he hits the airmail. and goes in for a 10 on Leanne's 8, and we have a lead change. Oh, I'm sorry. Tony and Leanne got a point. Tony knocks his own bag in. Amy sits up behind Tony's bag for a stronger block. Tony goes up. He pushes straight up against him. He has a block also. Amy goes up with an airmail. She drags one of hers and one of Tony. Well, she drug her bag, hit the airmail and drug one of Tony's bags. Tony goes up. He hits Amy's bag and knocks it in. He still, and Amy goes up for an airmail, making it a 10 on 8. And guess what? It's going to be a tied score, 9-9. We got a 99 over here on court 1. Pep's in. Leanne's in with her first bag. Pep's in with his second bag. Leanne's in. Pep's in. Leanne's off to the left just a little bit, leaving the hole wide open for Pep, and Pep goes off to the right, goes to the back of the board. Now Leanne has an opportunity here to wash it out, and that's what she does. She washed it out. So now we got Amy and Tony throwing back down, and the score still remains 9-9. I think Amy has control of the board right now. They have first bag. Her first bag is in. Tony's first bag's up. He sets up a level 3 block in front of Amy. Amy's sitting there. Here she goes. She goes up to go around it, and it goes just a little bit too far to the right and a little bit hard. She was trying to set that bag up. Tony goes off the back of the board to the right. Amy goes up for the airmail and misses it. Tony goes up. He drags that bag just a little bit closer to the hole. Now Amy needs this bag, or she needs to set up a block and hope Tony misses the airmail. Oh, she goes up for the airmail and hits it. What a shot. Tony goes up and goes in, dragging that bag with him. So the score now is 9-12. 12-9. Tony and Leanne have taken the lead. Leanne's up. Goes a little bit off to the left and goes off of the board. Pep goes up. He sets up level 1 block on the right hand side in his lane. Leanne can go around it, and she does. Pep goes up trying to drag that bag. He drug it closer, but he's going to have a bag out of play. Leanne drags that bag in with hers, leaving Pep's up. Pep tries to drag it with an airmail. He hits the airmail, but he misses the bag. Pep goes up for another airmail. It's going to be 10 on 7. And guess what? We're going to have a tied score again, making it 12-12. So here we go. Starting out on this 12-12 pitch, Amy has first bag. Her first bag is in. Tony's first bag is in. Amy's second bag is off to the right, but that bag's hanging, so it can go. Amy goes up. She lays up on top of that bag. Tony goes up kind of easy. He's got 2 bags sitting in front of the hole for a level 1 block. Amy goes up for the airmail, hits her bags, knocks one of them off, leaving 2 on the back. Tony goes up with a roll drag, and he drags one of those bags in for a 10. Making it 17. 17 to 12 now. Leanne has first bag. Tony and Leanne have control of the boards. Leanne's first bag is in. Pep's first bag is off to the left just a little bit, setting up in Leanne's lane. Leanne goes off to the right, sets up that next bag in Pep's lane. Leanne goes up. She drags Pep's bag over just a little bit more to the left. Pep goes up for an airmail. Leanne tries the airmail and goes off. He knocks one of Leanne's bags in and goes off, and Pep washes it out, making it a 7-on-7 wash. Tony's in with his first bag. Amy's off to the right with her first bag. Tony's in with his second bag. Amy's in with her second bag. Tony's in with his third bag. Amy's off to the right with her third bag. Tony goes to the right just a little bit. Amy goes up and goes in for a 10-on-8. Now the score is 19 to 12, favor Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz. Leanne has first bag. Her first bag is in. Pep's off to the left just a little bit. Now Leanne can go up the middle and make this bag, and she does. Beautiful shot. Pep goes up, pushes up against his first bag. Now Leanne goes up. She goes up against Pep's bag. Pep goes up for the airmail and hits it. Leanne goes up the middle, sets up the middle. Pep goes up and hits another airmail, making it an 8-on-8 wash. So here we go. Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz still have board control. Tony's up. He sets up a level 2 block, setting to the left of the board in Amy's lane. Amy goes up, setting up beside of Tony's bag, leaving Tony's bag just a little bit over to the left, but Tony goes up airmail. Bag's hanging in the hole. Amy goes up for the push. Tony goes up. He does a push. He pushes up against Amy's bag for a level 2 block. They got several bags. Amy drags one of her bags in, leaving Tony's bag on the back side. And Tony goes up and he goes in with 2 bags. Now Amy has to have a bag in to only give up one. Oh, and she throws it just a little bit too low, and it's going to be an 8-on-5. Yeah, 8-on-5. And Tony and Leanne are going to take down Amy Gore and Pep Ken. He's tough with them airmails, ain't he, Leanne? Good job, brother. Good job, man. Good job. No, not. Yep, you probably will be. Yeah, Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz, Seth Crawford, Nico Gonzalez. So we have Tony Manus and Leanne Klutz playing Seth Crawford and Nico Gonzalez. So here we go. They're doing their down and back. Nico's first bag is off to the left. It's setting in the hole. Tony bounces over the hole just a little bit, setting up on the back side on the slick side. That bag's going to fall. Like I say, these are down and backs. They don't mean anything. Good to see you back, Nico. Good to see you back. Oh, good to hear from you, Spencer Matlock. Andrew Theory. Amen. So here we go. We got them going back down, and I think these bags are live right here. And I don't even know where I'm at, but Nico just threw the bag off the board to the right. Tony drags a bag and goes in with the bag. Nico goes in. Tony's in with that last bag, and I think it's going to be a 10-on-5. And it is, and they got 5-0. Leanne has first bag. Her first bag's off to the left, but that bag's hanging in the hole. That bag is very much playable. Seth goes up. He sets up a level 2 block on in the center, trying to get control of the hole. Leanne steps out just a little bit. Oh, she hits that bag. Beautiful shot. And knocks that bag in. Seth does a whoopsie on his next bag. Leanne steps out again. She goes up and goes around that bag, but Seth goes up, goes off to the left. That bag's off the board. Right now it's 5-on-1. Oh, and Leanne just about hit it. It's 5-on-6. I mean 6-on-1. Seth goes up, goes in with a bag, leaving a bag up. He didn't drag that bag quite far enough to get it in. So it's going to be a 6-on-4, giving Tony and Leanne 2 more points, making it 7-0. Tony's up. He has first bag. Him and Leanne still have control of the board. Tony's in with that first bag. Nico's in. Tony's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Nico drags it and replaces it. Tony goes up, sets up beside of Nico's bag. Nico goes up, he drags it, but he goes off to the back of the board with that next bag. Tony steps out and he goes up, he goes in for a 10. Nico goes in for a 10, so it's going to be a 10-10 wash. So here we go. Leanne has first bag. Leanne's up and that bag's off to the left, just misses the edge of the hole and goes to the back of the board. Seth is off to the right just a little bit, but his bag is hanging. It's in his lane. Leanne takes it in for him, going off to the left. Seth goes in with his next bag. Leanne's off to the right again, but that's in Seth's lane. Seth goes around it without touching it. Leanne goes up. She touches that bag. She goes in with one. Seth tries to miss it and goes to the left, and it's going to be an 8-on-8 wash. No, it ain't. They got 4 points. Sorry about that. All right. Nico's off to the right in Tony's lane. Tony's off to the left in Nico's lane, but Nico's bag was to the right, and Tony takes Nico's bag in, leaving his bag for replacement block. Nico goes around Tony's bag, hits the bag, goes in and off the board. Tony sets up a level 3 block on Nico's lane. Nico goes up for an airmail and misses. Now Tony's stepping out. Tony goes up. He hits his last bag, making it an 8 on 7. Here we go. Leanne has first bag, and it's in. Seth is off to the left just a little bit. He's in Leanne's lane. Leanne goes up the middle, sets up behind that bag of Seth's. Seth goes up. He hits it. He sets up in the middle on the slick side. Leanne goes up trying to get behind Seth's bag and goes off to the left. Seth does a hard drag. Drags that bag in, but goes off the back of the board with his drag bag. Leanne goes up and goes to the right and goes in. Oh, and Seth hits a clean airmail, leaving his drag. He was going to try to drag that bag, but he ends up missing it. But he goes in with his airmail, washing the round out. So here we go. Tony Manus has first bag. His first bag is off to the right. That bag's sitting on the edge of the board. Nico's off to the left. Both of those bags are out of play. Tony sets up a level 2 block. Nico goes around that block and goes in. Tony goes up and goes in with his next bag, leaving that block bag there. Nico goes up. He hits that block bag, pushing it on up, but sets up. He's going to try to drag this bag if he can. He misses it, knocks one of his bags off of the board. No, he knocked one of Tony's bags off. Only giving up a couple points there. So here we go. Leanne and Tony still have control of the board. Oh, they got one? Seth is off to the right and to the back of the board. Leanne's up, and she sets up a level 1 block right in the middle. Seth's up. He tries to tap it and do a replacement. Ends up going a little bit to the left. Leanne pushes it, bullies it over just a little bit more to the left and goes in the hole. Leanne bullies it over just a little bit more and goes in the hole. Seth goes in with his last bag. Leanne's in with her last bag, making it a 12 on 4, giving Tony and Leanne just a little bit more of a lead. 12-5 now. Tony's up. He sets up a level 1, level 2 block sitting in front of the hole. Nico tries to go around it and ends up going to the left, but that bag's still playable. Nico goes up trying to drag that bag around and goes off the back of the board. Tony goes in for a 9 on 1 right now. Now it's 9 on 4. Tony's up. He sets up on the left-hand side. Nico can't grab his bag. Nico goes up. It's 5 on 10, giving Tony and Leanne 5 more points. Score is going to be 17-5 now. Leanne's up. She's off to the left with that first bag, but it's on the board. Seth's in with his first bag. Leanne's in with that next bag. Seth's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Now Leanne's going to try to go in with it. She goes to the right of it. So that bag's going to be out of place. Seth pushes it in, but stays a little bit to the right, further than he wanted. Leanne goes up. Pushing up against Seth's bag. Now let's see what Seth does here. He drags both of them bags for a 12 on 6. Making the score 11-17 now. So here we go. Nico has first bag. Its first bag is in. Tony sets up a level 1 block in front of the hole. Seth tries to go around. Nico tries to go around it, but ends up going too far to the right of it. Tony steps out, pushing Nico's bag just a little bit further to the left. Nico goes up hard and he goes off the side rails and off the side of the board. Now Tony goes up hard. Now them two bags that Tony just drug up in the air, he pushed Nico's bag back a little bit further. Nico goes up. He touches Tony's back bag, but if Tony hits this airmail, it might be over. Oh, and he got 8 on 5, and he got 3 more points, giving him 20-11 now. Seth and Nico cannot afford to miss anything. Every bag needs to score. Leanne's in with her first bag. Seth's off to the left with his first bag. Leanne can take that bag out of play, but she does not. But she goes to the back of the board, and that bag is hanging right on the edge of the blue zone. Seth drags it and drags the bag down just a little bit. Oh, Leanne goes up and goes off of the board to the right. Seth goes in, dragging Leanne's bag in with him. Leanne goes in with that next bag. So Seth went in with that last bag, giving up 1 point. Taking 1 point. But Tony and Leanne are still in the lead, 20-12. Nico's in with his first bag. Tony's in with his first bag. Nico's off to the right with his second bag. Now this is Tony's opportunity. He sets up a level 1 block on the right-hand side. Nico goes up real easy. Tony goes up. He takes that bag in, but his bag goes off to the right. Now Nico has a bag off. Now Nico and Tony, all he got to do is put that bag on the board, and he goes in, and it's a Leanne and Tony Mena show. So So we got Jacob Gore and Lee Hagwood, Dewey Smith and Jamie Reniger on court number 1. Hey, John, good luck, man. So where you going, Larry? Go get him, baby.
Right now
Let's go. Let's go, Jamie Renninger. Jamie Renninger working on his N1. Here we go. They do the bump fist. They've made the spin. So Dewey Smith is starting this out. So here we go. We got Dewey Smith throwing against Jacob Gore. Dewey's up. He goes off to the left. That bag's going to be out of his lane. It's going to be out of play. Jacob's gone up the middle. He sets up a level 1 block. Dewey's going to go in with it. And he does. Jacob's up. He sets up another block. He sets up a level 1 block for Dewey. Dewey goes up and goes around that bag. Hits his bag and goes over to the left just a little bit. Jacob goes around that bag and goes in. Dewey goes up and he goes in with that next bag. Jacob's going to try a push. He pushes over to the left just a little bit and goes to the back of the board, leaving it 8 on 10, giving up 2 points to Dewey Smith. Now here we go. Lee Hagwood's throwing against Jamie Renninger. Here we go. Jamie Renninger, first bag. He's off to the right. Now that bag still can be got. It's still playable, but it's just about out of play. Jamie goes up and goes in. Lee went in with his first bag. Lee's in with his second bag. 6 on 4 right now. Jamie's in, 6 on 7. 9 on 7. Jamie's in. Lee's off to the back of the board for a 10-10 wash. Score still remains 2-0, favor Dewey Smith and Jamie Renninger. So here comes Dewey. He has first bag. His first bag, he sets up a level 1 block, a diamond block. Jacob sets up kindly behind it, but his bag's turned just a little bit against the back side of Dewey's bag. Dewey drags that bag and goes in with it. Beautiful shot. Jacob drags that bag up just a little bit closer and goes in. Dewey goes up. He goes over to the left just a little bit, but that bag is hanging. Jacob goes in, dragging that other bag, and makes it 9-9. Dewey's last bag is in. Jacob's last bag is in for a 12-12, and we have a social. So here we go. Lee Hagwood, Jamie Renninger be throwing back up. Renninger and Smith have control of the board right now. So here we go. Renninger has first bag. His first bag is in. Lee Hagwood is up, sets up a level 1 block. Renninger goes up. He drags that bag and goes in with it. Lee Hagwood sets up another block. Renninger's up, goes around that block and goes in. Hagwood's up, pushes that bag in and goes off to the left. Renninger's in for a 12. Hagwood's in for a 10. Score now 4-0, favor Dewey Smith and Jamie Renninger. Dewey Smith has first bag. His first bag is in. Jacob's first bag, he sets up a level 1 block in front of Dewey. Dewey goes up. He replaces that block and sets up a block. Jacob pushes up against it. Dewey goes up. He pulls Jacob's bag out just a little bit to the left. He throws just a little bit too hard. Jacob goes up, dragging all of those bags in. Dewey has a bag sitting on the left-hand side, out of lane and out of play. Dewey goes in with his last bag. Jacob goes in with his last bag, making it a 12-on-10, and they finally on the board. And the score is just 2-4. So this is the early part of this game right now. Lee Hagwood's up. He sets up a level 1 block in front of Jamie Renegar. Jamie stepping out just a little bit. He goes up. He goes in. He drags Hagwood's bag with him. He goes in. Hagwood's in with his second bag. Renegar's in with his second bag. Hagwood's in. Renegar's off to the back of the board, but that bag's in play. It's going to fall. Matter of fact, it just fell. Jamie's in. It's a 12-12, and we have a social. So here we go. We got Dewey throwing back down against Jacob. Jacob has first bag. Jacob's first bag is a level 3 block sitting in the middle of the board, diamond shaped, and Dewey's going to go around it. Dewey goes up. He goes around that bag just a little bit. Now that's bag sitting in Dewey's lane. Jacob goes up, does a roll bag, and goes over that bag. Dewey goes up. He pushes Jacob's bag just a little bit further to the right. Jacob goes up the middle and goes in. Dewey's stepping out. He's going to try to drag these two bags and to take the bag in with him. He takes 2 bags with him, one of his and one of Jacob's, and sets up a level 1 block. Jacob goes up. He pushes Dewey's bag back to the back of the board, pushes his bag out of play also. Oh, Dewey goes up and goes a little bit too far to the left, being 10-on-4, 10-on-6, giving up 4 points. Now Jacob and Hagwood have taken the lead. Hagwood's first bag's off to the right. It's setting in Renegar's lane, though. Renegar comes up. He goes to the left and goes around it. He sets up in the... Oh, Renegar goes a little bit too far to the left this time. Now Hagwood has an opportunity to drag that bag that he's got sitting in the hole, but he didn't do it. But it's sitting in Jamie's lane. Jamie goes up, takes it on in anyway. Hagwood's in for a 12. Renegar's in for a 10. Score now is going to be 6-4. I can't see. Jacob's off to the right with that first bag. It's sitting on the right-hand side of the board. Dewey goes around it and goes in. He steps out. Jacob goes up. He drags that bag just a little bit closer. Dewey goes up. He replaces Jacob's bag with a bag. Jacob goes up. He drags Dewey's bag in and goes to the back of the board with his bag. Dewey goes up and goes off to the right. Now Jacob with an airmail, he could possibly get all 3 of these bags, and he gets them. What a shot. Beautiful shot. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That blue one was in, that red one was up, but it's a wash.
Yep, he touched the bag. Lee sets up a level 1 block in the center of the board, but that bag is kindly on the edge. It's not laying flat. Jamie goes up. He goes off, and he side railed that bag off the board, trying to go around that bag. Lee pushes it up just a little bit further up the board, still leaving that bag in the center of the board. So he's got a block bag on the left-hand side and a block in the middle. So he's got the whole block. Jamie throws up. He flattens that one bag of Lee's and sets up a block right behind Lee's bag. Lee tries to do a roll shot. He goes up, sets on top of Jamie's bag. Lee's ready. He goes up. He tries to roll that bag and ends up going off to the left, but the bag is still on the board. Three on four. That bag just about pushed up the mid. Jamie just about pushed the bag in up the middle. He almost got that, but he did give up 1 point. Jacob's first bag is in. Dewey's first bag is in. Jacob's first bag is over to the right. He's trying to set up a block on the right-hand side. Just a little bit too far to the right. Dewey steps out and goes around that bag and goes up, puts up his own block. Jacob grabs that bag and goes in with it. What a shot. Dewey's in. Jacob's in with that last bag. Dewey's off to the left with his last bag, and he misses the wash and the social, giving up 2 more points. Make score down 11-4. Lee sets up a level 1 block. He sets it up. It's square. Jamie goes up. He knocks Lee's in and replaces it with a block himself. Lee goes up. He tries to push up behind Jamie's bag and goes over to the right. Over to the left. Jamie goes in with his next bag, dragging that bag. Lee's in with his last bag. Jamie's up. He misses, and it's a 10-10 wash. Jacob has first bag. He sets up a level 1 block, setting in the hole on Dewey's lane. Dewey goes up, pushes Jacob's bag in, and sets up his own block. Jacob goes up, trying to set behind that bag, and goes off to the right just a little bit. Dewey bullies it over just a little bit more to the right. Now let's see what Jacob's going up. He goes up the middle and goes in. Dewey's up. He sets up on Jacob's side on the right-hand side, keeping Jacob from getting that bag, and then Jacob goes in with his last bag. Dewey goes up trying to grab that bag and goes off the back of the board, giving up 3 points. Jamie. Oh. Jacob giving Jamie a hard time. So here we go. I hope you guys can see what's going on here. I'm trying to be quiet. I mean, Lee Hagwood's first bag is in. Jamie's first bag is in. Lee sets up a level 1 block for Jamie. Jamie's up and he drags both of those bags in, goes in. Lee sets up another block, but he goes a little bit further to the left than he wanted to. Jamie goes around it. He hits that hole just a little bit too hard and flips it over. Now it's sitting on the slick side, so he could grab this bag. He goes in with it, making it a 10-10 wash. Score now 16-4. Jacob sets up a level 1 block on the right-hand side, but it's more in his lane than it is the center of the board. Dewey steps out, tries to go around it, goes on the slick side and goes a little bit faster than he wanted and goes over to the back of the board. It's not off, but it is over there out of play. He's not going to be able to get this bag, period. He goes in with that next bag. Jacob goes in. It's a 9-on-4 right now. Dewey's in for a 7. Jacob's up and he hits the airmail. He was trying to do an N1. Dewey's in for a 10, making it Dewey giving up 2 more points. It's 18-4 now. Lee Hagwood has first bag. His first bag is off to the right just a little bit. Jamie hits Lee's bag, pulling it up the board just a little bit, setting up a level 1 block in his lane. Lee sets up behind Reniger's bag. Now Jamie goes up. He sets up in the middle of the board. Now let's see where Lee's going to sit. Lee goes up. He tries to set up in the middle, but ends up going a little bit to the left. Oh, and Jamie pushes it hard. He's got 3 bags sitting in the middle of the board in the hole. Here he goes. Watch this, folks. Oh, and 2 of them fell. Well, 1 of them fell.
We still score.
They got 1 point out of that. He went just a little bit too hard. But he scored a point. And they got Lee bag. Dewey sets up a level 1 block. Jacob throws easy up. He tries to go around that bag, but he goes to the right just a little bit further than he wants. Dewey pushes that bag a little bit further out of play. Jacob goes up, dragging everything in, cleaning the front of the hole up, leaving his bag on the right-hand side to the back. Jacob's in. Dewey's up, and he sets up beside of Jacob's bag. Oh, and Jacob just throws the bag on the board, giving them 2 points instead of 4. So now they're halfway there. It's 9-18. Or 7-18, I'm sorry. Jamie's up. He sets up on the left, right-hand side of the board. Lee sets up behind that bag, pushing it up just a little bit. Jamie pushes it over just a little bit. Lee can go around this bag. He goes up and sets up against it. They're getting a mess in this hole right now. They're packing a laundry basket 1 piece at a time. So here we go. They figured out what they're going to do here. They got a mess set up there. You can see on the screen. Oh! So Dewey Smith and Jamie Renninger go down to 27. The Jacob Gore and Lee Hagwood. The score would be 21-7. Jamie Renninger talking about Lee Hagwood blocking him. Hey, Tristan McDewey is on a heater. No, he is not on no heater. Somebody throwed him in the cooler. Let's go, Lee and Jacob. Yes, Lee and Jacob took it down. They done good. All right, I'm gonna take a little small break here. We in between games right now, so I'll be right back as soon as the next game comes up. So just give me a minute. All right, we back. Just had to go get a little crunch and munch. Tony Manus and Lee Ann Klutz are going to be playing Scott Benner and Keith Makem. All right, Tony Manus has first bag here. His first bag is in. Keith's first bag is off to the back of the board, but that bag's still playable. That bag's going. He's in with his second bag. Manus is off to the right just a little bit with that next bag. Keith knocks it over. More into Tony's lane. Tony's up. He takes that bag and drags it in for a 12. Ooh, and Keith does a whoopsie. So now Scott Benner throwing against Leanne Klutz. Leanne has control of the board. She has first bag. Her first bag's off to the left just a little bit, but now she can grab this bag. Scott's in. He nudges that bag over just a little bit, trying to push it further out of the lane. Leanne goes up behind it, dragging it, the back of it around just a little bit, setting that bag up for a drag. Scott's over to the right just a little bit hard. It slides off the back of the board. Leanne goes up. She goes a little bit too far to the left and rails off the left-hand side of the board. Scott stepping out. He pushes up against Leanne's two bags. Now Leanne's going up the middle. She goes up the middle. She drags one in, but she leaves an opening for Scott here to drag that one bag. Oh, he misses that bag and goes off the back of the board. It's going to be 5-on-4. All right, Tony has first bag. His first bag's up. It's off to the left. It's out of play. Keith's first bag is in. Tony's next bag is off to the right just a little bit, but it's sitting in the hole. Keith goes off to the right, pushing Tony's bag a little bit tighter into the hole. Tony goes up. He pushes it in the hole, but goes off to the right behind Keith's bag. Tony goes in for an 8. Keith goes in for a 10. Leanne goes in, taking one of Scott's bags. Scott goes in with his next bag. It's 9-on-4 right now. Ooh, Leanne goes to the back. That bag's going to be out of play. Scott goes up hard, goes over to the left. Leanne goes over too far to the right, making it a 10-on-5, giving up 5 points. And we have a lead change. So here we go. We got Keith going against Tony. Keith's first bag is in. Tony's first bag, he sets up a level 2 block. Keith goes around that bag and goes in. Tony goes up. He hits it, pushing that a little bit closer to the hole, but he goes off to the right. Keith's next bag is off the back of the board. Tony goes up. He hits it. He lands up against that bag. Keith goes around that bag and goes in. Oh, and Tony hits it hard at 6-on-9. Here you go. Scott Brenner has first bag. Then collected over to the right. Scott goes around her bag and goes in. Leanne goes up the middle and goes in. Scott goes in. Leanne's in. Scott goes in with his last bag. Leanne goes off to the left just a little bit, giving him 4 more points. Keith's first bag was off to the right. Tony's up the middle and in. Keith's off to the left. Tony's up the middle. Now that bag's hanging. Keith takes it and goes in with it. Tony's up the middle again. He sets up a level 1 block. Keith takes it and goes in with it. Tony's over to the right, just left it a little bit, making it 10-on-8. Here goes Lee in. She has first bag. Her first bag is in. Scott's first bag is short. It's at the bottom of the board. Leanne's in with that next bag. Scott for him. Leanne. Scott goes in. Leanne goes in with her last bag. Scott goes off to the right and off the back of the board, making it a 10-on-7. Leanne and Tony are drawing closer. They're getting within striking distance of this score. It's 11-14 right now. They've already come back up. Tony's first bagger is off to the left just a little bit in Keith's lane. Keith pulls up behind Tony's bag. Now Tony steps out a little bit. He sets up right beside him. Now Tony's still out. He's going to try to drag this bag. He goes up hard, but he pushes up in the middle of the wad. Tony goes up, he drags a bag and sets up on the right-hand side. Now Keith goes up, he just lays it up on the board for giving up 2 more points, making it 13-14. Leanne's first bag, she sets up a level 1 block, sitting right dead in the center of the hole. Scott pushes up, does a replacement bag. Leanne pushes up beside of Scott's bag. Scott goes up, pushes his bag in, and replaces it with another one of his bags. Leanne goes up, and the bag is just hanging there. You can see it's just hanging there. It's going to fall. And it does fall, and Scott goes off to the right just a little bit with that next bag. Leanne stepping out, she drags that bag in, both of those bags in for a 12. Scott has given up an 8, so now the score is going to be 17-14 favor Leanne Klutz and Tony Maintenance. We have a lead change. Tony Maintenance's first bag's off to the left. Keith is off to the left and off of the board. Tony's up the middle for a level 1 block, level 2 block. Keith sets up behind Tony's bag. Tony pushes up against it. Keith pushes up against that bag, but he goes a little bit too far to the left. Oh, Tony tries an airmail. Making the score now 18-14. Leanne's in with her first bag. Scott's off to the left with his first bag. Leanne's up, and she bounces off of Scott's bag, pushing it a little bit further to the left, bullying it up. Scott goes in with his next bag. Leanne's in with her third bag. Scott off of the back of the board with that last bag, with that next to the last, with that third bag. Oh, Leanne goes up, and she goes off to the left. Oh, it's 10-6, giving up 4 points. And Leanne Klutz and Tony Maintenance come back and win this game. Lee, Ann, and Tony. All right. Jackson Gore. Leanne Klutz are going to start it out. Leanne's in with her first bag. Jackson's in with his first bag. Leanne's in with her second bag. Jackson's in with his second bag. Leanne's in with her third bag. Jackson's in with his third bag. Leanne's in for 4. Jackson's in for 4. And we have a social in this first round. Do what? Yeah, I'm just watching. Yeah. Tony Mayness is off and in. David Pope does a level 1 block. He goes off to the right trying to hit that bag. Now both of them both of them have a bag out of play. Now Tony could go in for a 10. David goes in for a 8, making it 10 on 8, giving Lee Ann and Tony Mayness the first points of this game. We're going into the third round. Leanne throws her first bag. She does a level 1 block, sitting on Jackson's side of the board. Jackson tries to go around it. He goes a little bit too far to the left. Leanne pushes that bag just a little bit closer to the hole. Jackson goes up and he pushes Leanne's bag in and goes over to the left just a little bit. Now his bag fell when Leanne hit the board. Jackson's in. Leanne's in with her last bag. She bullies Jackson's bag out just a little bit. Jackson's in with his last bag, making it a 10 on 10 wash. So we have Tony Mayness throwing against David Pope. Tony Mayness is in with his first bag. David's in with his first bag. Tony's in. David's in. Tony's off to the right just a little bit. David's in with his third bag. Tony's in with his last bag. It's 10 on 12. Scores tied 2-2 right now. Jackson's in with his first bag. Leanne's in with her first bag. Jackson's in. Leanne's in. Jackson's in. Leanne's off to the left just a little bit with that bag. Jackson's in with that last bag for a 12. Leanne's in for a 2, only giving up 2 points, 10 on 12. So we have Tony and David throwing back down. David Polk has control of the board right now, but they're still behind. His first bag is in. Tony's first bag is off to the left just a little bit past the hole. David's in with that second bag. Tony's in with his second bag. David's in with his third bag. Tony has 2 in. David's off to the left just a little bit with that last bag. Tony's stepping out. Tony goes up and goes in for a 10-10 wash. Score still remains 2-4 going into the 7th round. Jackson goes a little bit hard and goes off to the left. That bag's out of play. Leanne goes up. She goes to the left, setting up behind Jackson's bag. But now her bag, she's going to be able to get this bag if she steps out. She goes up. She hits that bag and goes in, drags it in. Jackson drags them all three in and goes in with it. Leanne's in. Jackson's in with his last bag. Leanne's up, and it fell short. It went just a little bit to the left, to the right, and went back to the back of the board. She almost got a 12 on 8, but ended up 10 on 12. 10 on 8. Tony goes up. He sets up a block on the left-hand side in David's lane. David goes up against it. Tony goes up, does a side-by-side beside of the two blocks. Now, they both covering this hole up. I think Tony's going to go up the middle. He tried to go up the middle. He hits David's bag, knocking it over to the right just a little bit. That bag could be pushed out of play. David goes up, sits up for a level 2 block behind Tony's bag. Tony goes up to go around it. Oh, and David goes up and hits an airmail, gaining 3 points.
Watching the master.
The master. So here we go. We got Jackson up. Jackson's first bag's off to the left. Leanne goes up, hits Jackson's bag, and goes in the hole, pushing Jackson's bag a little bit further to the left. That bag still can be got. Jackson was in. Leanne sets up on the right-hand side. Now that bag's hanging over the blue zone just a little bit. Jackson goes up. He tries to drag that bag, and he moved it, but he didn't drag it far. Oh, Leanne moved it for him now. Jackson gets it, this last bag. He got it. Leanne goes in for a 10, only giving up 2 points. Here we go. David Polk has first bag. David Polk's first bag is in. Tony's first bag is off to the left. He's set up in David's lane. David sets up right beside of it. Tony sets up beside of his own bag, giving David a wall on the left-hand side. David pushes up against that bag. Now Tony has to decide what he's going to do here. He goes up. He sets up a total wall against David. David goes up for an airmail and hits it. Tony goes up and hits it. So it's going to be an 8 on 8 wash. Good bags. Good bag. 8 on 8.
Good bag.
6 on 8.
Oh, was it 6 on 8? I thought it was 8 on 8.
No, they got 2.
Oh, okay, that's right. Tony had 3 bags on the board. Yep. It was 6 on 8. Sorry about that, folks. Jackson's in with his first bag. Leanne's off to the back side of the board. Jacob goes to the left. Jackson goes to the left. Bag's out of play. Leanne bumps off of Jackson's bag, bullying it over a little bit more and goes in. Jackson goes up. He sets up on the left-hand side on Leanne's lane. Leanne drags his bag and takes her bag with it. Jackson goes up. He goes in for a 10. Leanne goes in for a 10. It's going to be a 10-10 wash. We're in the 12th round, and it's 11-4 right now. Favor Jackson Gore and David Polk. David Polk's in with his first bag. David sets up a level 1 block. Tony goes in with it. David's in with his third bag. Tony's up. He sets up a level 1 block in David's lane. David goes up. He takes that bag with him, and Tony goes up, takes both of them bags, and goes in. We have a social. No, that wasn't no oopsie. Nope. We might get one here in a little bit. Jackson's in with his first bag. Leanne's in. Jackson's up. He goes over to the left just a little bit too far. Leanne's up over Jackson's bag and in. Jackson's up. It sets up on the left-hand side. He's trying to do a level 1 block. Leanne goes up. Oh, she hits Jackson's bag and goes a little bit further to the left than she wanted to. Oh, and then that next bag, she throwed it just a little bit too hard, giving up 2 points. David Polk has first bag. His first bag, he sets up a level 1 block. Tony goes up, knocks it in, he goes off to the right. That bag's not out of play totally, but it's close. David goes in with his second bag. Tony's in with his second bag. David's in with his third bag. Bullying Tony's bag just a little bit further back. David's up the middle and goes in. Tony's up. He goes in for an 8, and it's 12 on 8, giving David Polk 4 more points. Now the score is 17-4. Jackson's first bag's off to the left, but it's in Leanne's lane. That bag is playable. Leanne tries to go around it and goes a little bit too far to the right. Jackson goes up, drags that bag in. Leanne goes in. 6 on 4 right now. Jackson goes in for a 9. Leanne's in for 7. Jackson's in for 12. Leanne's up, and it hangs up on the back side of that board. Lord have mercy. And giving Jackson Gore and David Polk 4 points and just enough to win the game, making it 21-4. Uh-oh, we got score zone going on. So we got Jackson Gore, David Polk, Baden Purser, and Martin Coberly. I think David might be a little bit hot on them air mails, don't you? Oh, there's Emma. Miss Emma. Come on, Emma. Oh, Emma. You see that, Larry? Just put that stuff in my face.
I've been trying to call you. When you think you're going to get home? You're coming to pick me up. What? And Krave wasn't answering his phone either.
We were playing cornhole. Who?
What?
Oh, I think talking about me.
No.
I've been trying to call him. What if I would have went home? How you going to get home?
You wasn't going home.
Hey, hey,
I didn't hear from you.
hey, they got a donkey outside. Get tied up right in the back.
It's bad in Charlotte.
All right, I think we got to go here. I think everybody's ready.
It's not too bad.
Here we go. We got David Polk and
It's like a hurricane in Charlotte.
Damn.
That's how bad it is. Terrible.
David's in with 2 bags. Baden's off.
I found
to the back of the board with 2 bags. He's in with 1 finally. David's up. He sets up a level 1 block on the left-hand side. Baden goes in without it and making it at 10 on 8. Jackson Gore has first bag. His first bag is in. Goberly's first bag is off to the left. Jackson's in with his next bag. Coberly's in. Jackson's in. Coberly's in. Jackson's in for a 12. Coberly's in for a 10. Hey, is that ain't this Baden down here on this end? Baden Purser. I swear I thought it was. David Polk has first bag. His first bag's off to the right. Purser's in with his first bag. David's off to the left and to the back of the board. Purser's in with his next bag. Now Polk, he's trying to drag that bag in just a little bit further. He does drag it a little bit. Purser goes up. He shoots it easy and goes to the right. He's up against David Polk's bag on the right-hand side. David goes up. He pushes hard in and goes in. He's going to try to get both of these bags if he can. Oh, he does a beautiful shot. And Purser takes both of them down, making it a 12 on 8, making them 4 points. Got Martin on the right-hand side. He's throwing up. He goes on the right-hand side of the board. He's got a level 1 block in Jackson's lane, but it's about middle hole. Jackson goes up and sets up a diamond block, level 1 block in front of Coberly. Coberly goes up, sets up behind it. Jackson goes up. He sets up behind Coberly's bag now. Coberly's stepping out. He's going to do a go-around or an airmail here. He goes up hard and goes off to the board to the left-hand side. He sides rails it. Jackson stepping up. He goes up for an airmail and hits it. Jackson just hit a beautiful airmail shot. Ooh, and Martin hits one too. Oh, and Jackson drags 2 for a 10 on. I think it was a 10 on 7. Or no, it was 10 on 5. So here we go. Jackson got a little excited. So David Polk sets up a level 1 block in front of the hole. Purser goes up behind it, pushing just his bags to the left of David Polk's bag, but it's in the lane. It was 400, wasn't it? 290. Yeah, you can't even get it in your pocket. Let me have that. All right, here we go. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jackson's up.
You got 3 in, shouldn't you?
He's got that bag sitting in front of Martin. Martin goes up. He pushes Jackson's bag in and pushes his bag over to the left just a little bit. Jackson goes up, setting up beside of Martin's bag. Now let's see what Martin, he stepped out, but he's changed his mind. He's stepping back in. He goes up, he drags that bag and goes in with it. Jackson's in.
That's what happened last time. He got 275.
Martin stepping out. He's going to try something drastic here. He goes up, he goes to the left. He should have stayed in the middle and went up the middle, but he didn't. But it's okay. Only giving up 4 points.
So he got 130.
No, I got all of it.
Oh, you got all. Okay.
All is mine.
Oh, okay.
It's not too
Don't-
bad here now. It's slacking up.
David Polk set up a block. Purser goes beside of it, sitting on top of it. Purser goes up for the airmail, knocks Polk's bag in and goes off the board. Polk goes up, knocking Purser's bag in and goes to the back of the board, but that bag's still playable. Purser goes up, he goes, tries to go around it. Polk's going up, he pushes 2 bags in. That's a beautiful shot. Now Purser has to drag this bag. Nope. Yep, that's it. 10 on 4, giving up 6, and that's the game. All right, who's up next? Jackson Gore, David Polk, Dewey Smith, and Jamie Reniger. Mr. Jamie Reniger, huh?
That's who beat them. They've been loser bracket. Do it quick. Jack and loser bracket.
Oh, really?
They beat them over there. Those guys
No, I
do.
thought they beat them over here. They lost over here.
No, Jamie and them went over here. Jamie beat Wichita over here.
Okay.
There were 3 teams left now, I think. Yeah, they played them last time. Coach Jacob and Alicia being the Kings team.
Well, let's see how Mr. Reniger throws this round here. I mean, you know, Jamie Reniger is an ACL pro. Jacob Gore, ACL pro. David Polk is an advanced player. Dewey Smith is in advanced playing. So all of these guys right here are top-notch players. They enjoy this game. They play this game on a weekly basis. And they do travel and do tournaments. So we have David Polk, Jackson Gore, Dewey Smith, Jamie Reniger. Now, Jamie is throwing against David, and Dewey is throwing against Jackson. So here we go. First round, Reniger has first bag. Reniger's first bag's off to the right just a little bit. Now it's in his lane. He can drag that bag. He goes up. He sits up beside a Polk's bag. Polk knocks both of those bags in and goes in with it. Reniger goes up. He goes in with that next bag. Polk goes up. He tries to pull that bag in just a little bit. Reniger goes up. Sets up a level 1 block. Polk goes up the middle, dragging both his and Reniger's bag in for a wash. So here we go. We got Dewey Smith throwing against Jackson Gore. So this is going to be the beginning of the game, the starting right here. Dewey Smith's off to the right just a little bit. He's setting up in Jackson's lane. Now Jackson can go around this bag, and he does. Goes right up. He sits up on the left-hand side of Dewey's bag, but his is a little bit closer in the hole. Dewey goes off the board and off to the right. Jackson takes his bag in and stays on the board. Dewey goes up. He stays on the board, leaving that blocked bag on the right-hand side. Oh, and Jackson Gore does a whoopsie, and Dewey does a drag. Jackson's in for a 7. So Jamie Reniger will be up first again. Once again, him and Dewey still have control of the boards now. We're going into round 2. 2-0 favor Smith and Reniger. Reniger's first bag is in. Polk sets up a level 1 block on the left-hand side of the hole. Jamie goes up and drags that bag up just a little bit closer. He's got both bags sitting there. Polk goes up the middle. He's got 3 of them sitting in the hole. Reniger goes up, pushes up against it. Polk goes in. He takes 3 bags in and sets up a level 1 block. His bag's on the slick side. Reniger steps out. He hits it a little bit too hard and edges it over and goes off the board. It's going to be 10 on 7. So here we go. We got Dewey and now the score is 3-2. Jackson Gore, David Polk has taken the lead. Jackson Gore's first bag's in. Dewey's first bag is in. Jackson's up. He sets up a level 1, level 2 block, but it's in his lane. Dewey's stepping out. Dewey goes up. He hits Jackson's bag, dragging it a little bit to the right. Jackson goes up. He tries to drag that bag, but he hits it, drags it around out from under Dewey's bag. Now he can get all of these bags in, I'm sure. Dewey's going to go up, but he goes in. He takes 2 of Jackson's and 1 of his, but he's in. He still has that block on the right-hand side. Jackson goes to the right. He hits that bag, but he sits up in the middle of the hole. All right, Dewey's going to go for the airmail. Oh, he misses it. He goes off to the right, off to the left, rather. He goes off the board, giving up 3 points, but that's okay. They're still fresh in the game. It's still young. The game is still young. So it's just 6-2, so that's not too big a lead. That ain't nothing that can't be caught and passed. So here we go. David Polk has first bag. His first bag is in. Jamie's first bag is off to the left just a little bit. David's off to the right. Now Jamie can push David's bag a little bit out of play. He can bully it over. He goes up. He just decides to go in. David goes in. He bullies it over just a little bit. Reniger's in. Polk is in with his last bag. Reniger's up. He stays just a little bit to the left and hits his bag and stops his other bag, giving him it was 8 on 10, so they gave up 2 points. Jackson's first bag is in. Got a level 1 block. Dewey pushes it in and sets up a block of his own. Jackson goes up, pushing up against Dewey's bag. Dewey goes up. He was going to try to go around that bag and goes a little bit off to the right. His bag is sitting on the right-hand side. Jackson goes up and goes around it and goes in. Dewey goes up, pushes his bag just a little bit closer to the hole. Jackson goes up. He goes off to the left just a little bit. Dewey goes up. One of his bags falls. It's an 8 on 5. So here we go. It's 11-2 right now. Renninger and Smith are behind a little bit now. They can catch this game up. David pokes off to the left just a little bit. Now here's Jamie's opportunity for 2. Jamie goes in. David pokes up. He sets up a level 1 block on the left-hand side. Jamie goes up against it, does a side-by-side. David goes up. He hits Jamie's bag. He goes off to the back of the board. But it's still hanging in the hole. Jamie stepping out. Jamie goes in. Dragon pokes bag in. Poke goes up. He goes in. Renninger's in for a 12 on 8. Putting Dewey and Jamie just a little bit closer. Giving them 4 points. Now it's 6-11. 11-6. Favor Jackson Gore and David Poke. So here we go. Dewey has first bag. Dewey's first bag is in. Jackson's first bag is in. Oh, Dewey's second bag goes off to the left just a little bit. Jackson's bag is in. Dewey's off to the left again. Jackson's next bag is in. Dewey's stepping out. He's going to try to grab something here if he can, and he misses. He goes up against it and stops. Jackson can be in for a 6. And he's in for a 6, making it 17-6 now. And I'm going to tell you folks now, they're going to get better as they go along right now. So if you got some friends you would like to put a little excitement in their evening, call them up. Let them know that the Gore boys are going to be playing against each other here in just a few minutes. I think Jacob and his partner are in the king seat. David Pope got a level 1 block. He throws up trying to push it in and goes off to the left. Jamie Renninger goes off to the left with his first bag. Now he's up. He hits David Pope's bag. David Pope goes in with that next bag. Now he still has a bag sitting in Jamie Renninger's lane. Jamie goes up. He blocks the hole on the left-hand side. Pope goes up with a push. He pushes that bag in. Now Renninger's going to have to go in without pushing Pope's bag with him. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, and he don't. And that's going to be 8 on 4, and that's going to be the game. David Pope and Jackson Gore take down Dewey Smith and Jamie Renninger. All right, here we go. This is going to be very interesting here. We got Jackson Gore going up against Jacob Gore. David Polk and Lee Hagwood. So here we go. Sorry I hadn't mentioned my sponsors any longer. I think this is going to be their down and back. I'm not really sure. The screen ain't on the scoreboard down there, so I don't know what they're going to have to do. I don't know if the batteries has went dead in it, or they going to have to get another score chart, or what. But anyway, where did Kobe leave? Kobe leave?
Oh, been gone. Now you said it.
Really?
Off to nowhere.
Hmm.
He's been gone for a while.
Well, damn. So here we go. Jackson Gore throwing against Jacob Gore. Jackson has first bag. Jackson's first bag's up. He sits up on the left-hand side. He's in Jacob's lane. Jacob goes up. He sits up behind Jackson. Jackson goes up with an airmail and hits it. Jacob goes up for a roll, pushes up against all of them bags. Now Jackson goes up with another airmail and hits it. Jacob goes up with a hard push. He drags one of the bags. One of his bags goes off to the right, but he's sitting on top of Jackson's bag. Jackson goes in for a 12. Jacob goes in for a 10. So here we go. We got Hagwood throwing against Polk. Polk has first bag. His first bag's over to the right just a little bit. That bag's going to be out of play. Hagwood's in with his first bag. Polk's off to the left with that next bag. Hagwood's up the middle and in. Polk's up the middle and in. Hagwood's in. Polk is in for a 8. Hagwood's in for a 12. And we have a lead change. So here we go. Jacob, his first bag. His first bag is in. Jackson's first bag is in. Jacob's off to the left just a little bit, but that bag's hanging in the hole. Jackson goes off to the left. He's got a block on Jackson's bag. Jacob's bag. Jacob goes up, sets up the middle. Jackson goes behind him. Oh, and Jacob tries an airmail. He hit the hole, but he hits the bag and rolls off the board. Oh, and Jackson does a whoopsie. So that was a wash. Lee Hagwood has first bag. It's right in the middle of the hole. David sits up behind it. Hagwood goes up, pushes up, goes around it, and he's sitting in the hole on the right-hand side of that bag. Oh, and David Polk pushes it up, bullies it up a little bit. Lee hits it and knocks it in. David Polk's in with that next bag. Lee Hagwood goes around for a 12. David Polk goes in for a 10. Here we go. Jacob's in with his first bag. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jacob's in. Jackson's up. He sets up a level 2 block on the left-hand side. Jacob rolls over it and goes in. Jackson goes up. He pushes it just a little bit closer, but not much. Jacob tries to go around it and go in. He goes to the back of the board to the left. Oh, and Jackson tried to drag that bag. He drug it up a little ways, but he missed it just a little too hard, but he goes in with his other bag, washing the round out. Now here comes Poke and Hagwood. Hagwood's up. He's got a level 1 block. Poke sits up behind him and pushes his bag in for a replacement. Hagwood goes up behind Poke. Poke tries to go up and hit that bag and drag it in and ends up going to the corner of the board. Now Hagwood knocks them bags just a little bit closer. Oh, when Poke goes up for an airmail and hits it, Hagwood pushes it. He tries to push it in. So that was a 6-on-6 wash. Jackson Gore coaching David Poke into what to throw, how to throw his bag. Jackson's Jacob's up with his first bag. He's got a level 1 block. Jackson sits up beside of it. Jacob pushes them all up closer, knocking Jackson's bag in, setting his 2 bags up. Jackson does a level 1 block right behind Jacob's bags. Jacob goes up. He does a go around and drags all 3 of those bags in. Jackson pushes up. He's on the slick side on one side of that bag. Now he can take all 3 of these bags in. He takes 2 of them, leaves 1 for a 10-10 wash. All right, so here we go. Hagwood has first bag. Round 8, score still 2-6. Favored Jacob Gore and Lee Hagwood. Hagwood's first bag is in. Poke sets up a level 1 block. Hagwood throws, goes to the right of that bag just a little bit. Poke is up. He's in. He's sitting dead in the middle of the board with all his bags. He knocks Hagwood's bag off to the right and ends up going to the corner of the board with that bag. Hagwood throws that bag off, side rails it. Poke's in. It's going to be 8-on-5. Jackson has first bag. His first bag's off to the right, and it's setting corner. Its corner is in the hole, but it's just barely leaning in the hole. Jacob put his first bag in. His second bag goes to the right. Jackson's bag is in. Jacob's bag is in. Jackson's in. Jacob's in for a 10-10 wash. Here's David. David Poke's first bag's off to the right. Now it's in Lee Hagwood's lane. Now Lee sits up right beside of it. David goes up. He tries to drag those bags in. Lee Hagwood goes up. He hits his bag. His other bag is sitting to the left, but it's still in play. David Poke just knocks it out of play. He's got... Oh, David... So we had a 6-6 wash. Here's Jackson, his first bag. First bag is in. Here's Jacob. First bag is set on the right hand side. He's got a level 3 block. Jackson goes up. He rolls over. He's got a bag in front of that bag now. Jacob goes up, pushing in between them, trying to push Jackson's bag away from his bag. Jackson goes up with an airmail and hits it. Oh, when Jacob goes up, he rolls one bag in, but he leaves a bag on the board. Oh, and Jackson goes up and he rolls that, skins that bag in. Oh, and Jacob goes in for a 10 on 9. Yep, 10 on 9. Hagwood's in with his first bag. Poke sets up a level 1 block. Hagwood sets up behind Poke's bag. Poke goes up to push that bag, go around them bags and push his bag in and misses it. Hagwood's up, he's in, he goes back to the right and he tries to go around bag. Poke goes up at an airmail, takes one of Hagwood's bags and his bag in. Hagwood goes up for the push and hits it. Oh, and David fell short, giving up 4 points, making it 11 to 5 now. Jackson has first bag. Jacob has first bag. He sets up a diamond block in level 1. Jackson pushes up against it, sets on it. Jacob goes up for an airmail and misses, but he reams around it, stays on the board. Jackson goes up with a roll bag and goes in. Oh, and Jacob tries another airmail and misses. Here's Jacob. He goes around that bag again and goes in. Oh, and Jacob misses another airmail. Jackson goes up for a push. It's still 7 on 2. So now the score is going to be 10 to 11. So here we go. David Poke has first bag. First bag is in. Lee's first bag is off to the left, and that bag's going to be out of play. David pitches his next bag to the right. Hagwood's in. Poke is in. Hagwood's in. Poke is in. Hagwood's in. 10-10 wash. Jackson has first bag. Jackson's first bag is in. Jacob's first bag's off to the left. That bag's going to be out of play. Jackson sits up beside of it, but his bag is half in the hole. Jacob drags that bag and goes in with Jackson's bag. Jackson's in with his third bag. Jacob's in with his third. Jackson's in for a 12. And Jacob's in for a 10. Now the score is going to be 12 to 11. It's going to be favor of Jackson Gore and David Poke only by 1. Hagwood and Poke is up. David Poke's first bag is in. Lee follows. David's in. Lee follows. David's in. Lee follows. David's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Now if Hagwood can go around that bag. Oh, but he ends up taking both bags going in, washing it out. That was just as good as an airmail drag. No harm was done. Jackson still has control of the boards, him and David. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jacob's up. He sets up a level 1 block. It's setting on the left-hand side of the hole. Jackson throws right behind it, kind of in behind it, allowing Jacob to have to go around that bag. Jacob goes around it, sits up on top of it. Now, Jackson throws a bag, and it's on top of those 2 bags of Jacob's. So Jacob's up. Let's see if he does a bar of soap here or a hard push. See what he does. Keep your eyes on this bag, folks. He stepped out. He's stepping back in now. He's trying to decide what he wants to do. Jackson goes up. He sets up to the right. Now it's 3 bags right there. Jacob goes up for an air mill and misses. Score still remains 12-11. That was a wash. Polk's first bag. His first bag's over to the right. That's in Lee Hagwood's lane. Lee tries to go around it, and he almost goes around it. He's got a bag set on the left-hand side. Now he can push this bag out of play, or he can take this bag. See what David's going to do here. Jackson's telling him to come up on the other side. That's what he did. Lee's up. He pushes hard, but he goes off to the back of the board. Pokes in with his for a 10. Hagwood's in for a 6. Giving up 4 points, making it 16-11 now. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jacob sets up a level 2 block. Jackson tries a roll shot and goes to the left of it. Jacob tries a roll shot, goes to the right, but Jacob's bag is sitting in the hole. Jackson sets up on top of Jacob's bag right there. Jacob goes up with a hard push. He bar soaps 2 bags. Jacob goes up and he blocks that bag. Jackson goes up and he hits him hard, and it's going to be Yep, I figured that. Yep, you got several points there, making it 19-11 now. David Polk, Lee Hagwood is up. David Polk had first bag. His first bag sits up on the left-hand side. Now this is David's opportunity to shine right here. If he gets 2 points, that's the game. He goes in with that next bag. David has 3 in. Hagwood has 1 in and 2 on the board. Polk's in for a 12. And that's the first game. No, I think they got another game. Yeah, I think they play again.
Yeah, play again. Yeah.
Oh, it ain't going to give us the second game. How did we get the second game? Score zone. Let's refresh it again, Larry, and see if we can get it.
Refresh it again. See if it picks
Yeah. It did last night. I mean, the last time we done it. I don't think I'm going to get it.
Hey, my bad, dude. I'm sorry. Hey, come on.
Here it is. We got it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Smart guy.
All right, David Pope and Lee Hagwood are throwing back down. Lee Hagwood has a bag off to the right and a bag sitting to the right in the hole. Lee goes up for a hard push.
If his goes, yours goes. You can shoot it if you want, because if you miss it, we'll still get one. If you make it, you get four. Shoot it or clip it.
So here we go, folks. Jackson Gore's first bag's off to the left. That's going to be just a little bit out of play right there. He's going to be a tough shot to get back. He knocks Jacob's bag in. Jacob sets up behind him for a level 2 block. Jackson goes up with a roll shot. He almost goes in, but his bag's sitting in the hole. Jacob goes up. He hits it hard. Goes around the bags and goes off the board. Jackson goes up the middle for a push. Oh, and Jacob goes off the back of the board. It's going to be a 4-4 wash. Score still remains 2-3. We in round 4. David Polk's first bag is off to the left just a little bit. Now that bag's going to be hard to get back into play, but Lee Hagwood's up the middle and in. David Polk sets up a level 1 block on the left-hand side. Lee goes up, sets up beside of it. David goes up, pushes his 2 bags in, leaving Lee's on the outside for Lee to push in. Lee goes up, he pushes that bag in, but his bag sits to the right of the board. Now Pope pushes it over to the left just a little, to the right a little bit, but it's going to be a 10-10 wash. So here we go. Jackson has first bag. Jackson's first bag is in. Jacob's first bag is set up for a level 1 block, sitting dead in the center of the hole. Jackson pushes Jacob's bag in and goes to the left just a little bit, but his bag's sitting in the hole. He drags it. It's going to be 9-9 right now. Jackson goes up the middle, sets up for a level 1 block. Jackson goes up for airmail and hits it. Jacob goes up and grabs that bag and goes in, making it 12-12. And we have a social. All right, David Pope, first bag is in. Lee Hagwood is in. David's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Hagwood's in. Dragon Poke's bag going in also. Poke's up on the left-hand side for a level 2 block. Hagwood goes to the right, trying to do a go around, and he ends up setting that bag right to the side of the hole. Oh, and Poke goes up, and he's up against Hagwood's bag and rolls back down in the hole. Hagwood goes up, he goes in, almost dragging that bag. But it's a 10-10 wash. And we're in round 6, and the score is still 2-3. Round 7. Sorry, folks. Jackson going with first bag. His first bag's off to the left just a little bit. Jacob's up the middle. He sets up a middle block. He sets one up about level 2. Jackson goes around it and goes in. Jacob pushes it in and goes off to the right. They both have a bag off to the right. Jackson's in. Jacob's in. Jackson's in for a 10. Jacob's in for a 10. David Polk's first bag sits up on the left-hand side of the hole. Lee Hagwood pushes David Polk's bag a little bit closer, setting up behind it. David tries to go around that bag, but his bag stops short of the hole. But he's sitting in a perfect position to score this bag, and Lee Hagwood come up the middle. That Polk goes up the middle. He knocks one of Hagwood's bags in. And David Polk just threw the airmail, and I mean to tell you folks, that was an awesome airmail. He drug one of his bags in. Now Hagwood has to be in for an 8-on-8 wash, but he decides not to try because Polk had another bag sitting in the hole. So he didn't want to take a chance on dragging Polk's bag on in. Now Jackson has first bag. His first bag's off to the left, and it's way down the middle of the board. Jacob is in with his first bag. Jackson's off to the left again with that next bag. Jacob tries to bully it over just a little bit. He blocks it. Jackson goes up. He pushes up against Jacob's bag. Now Jacob's going to have to do something. He does a hard push. He takes two bags in, leaving two of Jackson's bags on the board. Jackson goes up. He drags two bags in for an 8. It's 8-on-9 right now. Oh, it's 8-on-12, giving up 4 points. All right. Yep. Hagwood's in with his first bag. Polk is in with his first bag. Hagwood's off to the left just a little bit with that bag. Polk's off to the left also, and he goes in. He's almost in the hole. Hagwood pushes that one bag off to the right, and Polk sets up with a replacement block. I'd have thrown that on the slick side. All right. Here we go. Jacob's in with the first bag. Jackson's up. He's off to the right. He's sitting in his lane. Jackson's thinking. Jacob goes up. He sits up behind Jackson's bag. Oh, and Jackson steps up and he hits Jacob's bag, knocking his bag and Jacob's bag in. Jacob throws another block up. Jack goes around it. Oh, and Jacob goes off to the right. Now here's Jack's opportunity to score, and he does. 10-on-8. So now the score is going to be 6-9. We're in round 11. David Polk goes to the left. That bag's going to be out of play. Hagwood's up the middle. Polk's up the middle and in. Hagwood's off the board and off to the left and off of the board. Polk's up and he's in. Hagwood's in. Polk's in for a 10. Hagwood in for a 9. making the score 7-9 now. Here we go. Jackson's up. First bag. His first bag is in. Jacob's first bag is in. Jackson's in. Jacob's over to the right just a little bit. That bag is still in play. Jackson's in. Jacob's off to the left again. That bag's to the back of the board. Now Jackson's in for a 12. Jacob's in for a 10. And guess what, folks? We have a 9-on-9 score right now. Score is 9-9. David sets up a level 2 block. Hagwood goes around that bag and goes in. David Polk pushes that bag just a little bit closer to the hole. Hagwood follows in behind Polk.
Either step out and push into it or shoot it. I don't care.
Going up for airmail. He hits it. David Polk is on them airmails tonight. Lee Hagwood goes up.
Hey, step out and go fast side right here. Come on.
David Polk got that bag. Lee Hagwood does an airmail and drags that bag in. Woohoo! What a shot! What a shot, Lee Hagwood. What a shot. ACL Pro in the making. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jacob's in with his first bag. Jackson's in. Jacob's in. Jackson's up. He sets up a level 1 block. Jacob's up and he sets up a level 2 block. Oh, and Jackson pushes him up. He pushes Jacob's bag kindly to the left. Now Jacob has to make a decision here on what he's going to do. If he's just going to put it on the board.
Knowing him, though, Hollywood's going to go.
You gotta go back for it. Backside.
Let's see. Oh, and Jacob took them all in but one. That was a beautiful shot. Round 16, 11-9. David Polk's up. He's off to the left just a little bit. Lee Hagwood's off to the right.
Hey, go push. Step out a little bit. Oh, hey, right here. Go to work. Good shot.
Lee Hagwood shorts that bag just a little bit. David Polk stepping out. Oh, and David goes in for a 7. It's 7-on-5 right now. Hagwood has to be in. But if he can take this other bag, it's 7-on-8. Only giving up 1 point. Well, that was luck right there. If Hagwood would have took that bag on the right-hand side, it would have been bad. Scores 11-10. Jacob's off to the right just a little bit. He's in Jackson's lane. Jackson goes around it. He's in Jacob's lane now. Jacob goes up. He pushes that bag just a little bit closer. Oh, and Jackson goes up with an airmail and he misses it. Goes off the back of the board.
What I'm doing ain't working, so.
Oh, that bag was thrown just a little bit too low. Oh, and Jackson does a roll shot. And he has the front of the hole. Oh, and Jacob goes up. And this.
You can fall one time, please.
Here we go. Let's see what Jacob's. Oh, and only one of Jacob's bags fall. And that changes the score. And we got a lead change. So here we go. Hagwood against Polk. Hagwood's first bag is in. Polk sets up a level 2 block on the right hand side in Lee's lane. Lee goes around that bag and sets up the side of Polk's bag. Polk does a double push. He's got one bag hanging and one bag on the right hand side for a block. Jackson coaches Polk into pushing that bag up. He's setting one bag on the slick side.
You can either shoot it or come and clip that one in, we get two.
Ooh, and he shot for it. Jackson's in with his first bag. Jackson's off to the left. Jackson's in. Jacob's in with two already. Jackson sits up beside Jackson's bag. Jacob sits up beside Jackson's bag. Oh, and Jackson pushes it in and goes in for a 12. Oh, and he's in for an 8. And it's going to be 18-11. Here we go. Lee Hagwood, David Pope. Hagwood has first bag. He sets up a level 1 block. David Pope throws. He sets up beside a Hagwood. Hagwood goes up. He goes off to the left. Hagwood's in. He takes both of those bags in. Pokes in. Hagwood. Making it an 8-on-8 wash. All right. 18-11. Jacob's in, setting up right on the level 1 block with that first bag. Jackson's up. He takes Jacob's bag with him and goes in. Jacob's in with that next bag. Jackson's in. Jacob's up. He sets up on the right hand side of the hole. Jackson sits up behind Jacob's bag. Oh, and Jackson goes up. Jacob goes up and drags that bag. Oh, and Jackson tries to grab it and he misses it. It's going to be 22-11.
What a game. Wow.
Wow. Is that all of it?
That's it.
That's it? All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate you guys that watched. That's the end of it. We want to thank our sponsors once again before we leave. We have Hartzell's Garage Doors. We have Bust You Up Cornhole, Kelly's Bars and Grills. We got Bag Junkies, Headlights Are Us, and we got Bridges Corp and Angie's Pressure Washing. Want to thank all of you guys. Thank you guys for thank all of you guys for watching. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate you guys enjoying the program. We enjoy doing this program, but just keep in mind that we all getting older. We got Jacob and Lee Hagwood won Tristan.
I like that nickname, dog. Give me one.
Thank you, Mickey Cook. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, all of our sponsors, for being a sponsor here at Krave Cornhole. Thank you, Mickey and Jennifer Cook, Scotty and Amy Gore, for all you guys do, for Larry Tribune and Emma. Thank them for all they do for this community and the Cornhole family here at Krave Cornhole. We appreciate all of the folks that come out, all of those that come out and just support those that they love and are close to. Friends come out and support friends. And we appreciate that, and we love to see that, and we thank you guys for tuning in. You have a good night. Be careful going home out here in this rain. And see you guys see you guys Thursday night. I'll be back Thursday to do the commentary again. So thank all of you guys.